Sharon turned around and found another victim, so she ran to save him immediately. She told Sharon to run quickly, and the monster came. Suddenly, a monster appeared next to her. The screams of the two woke up the monster. She ran away immediately. The monster, made up of mannequins, is like a spider. Check if there are any prey around. She jumped on the mannequin and twisted her head. She began to chase the prey. The two hid and didn't dare to make a sound. After confirming the direction of the monster, they ran out of the entrance. Because they couldn't open the door, they had to escape through the ventilation hole. The monster heard the voice. She chased the two of them. She rushed up and pressed them down. Fortunately, the monster couldn't reach them. The two of them were able to enter the ventilation pipe. They thought they had escaped. Who knew that the monster caught the woman behind and ate her? In the first step, Sharon had already been rescued by her mother, Rose, but Rose found that she still hadn't returned to the real world, and the daughter who came back was not Sharon at all. It was Dark Alsha. In the second step, Rose met her husband through the mirror of the parallel world. In order to save her daughter, Rose found a seal. This seal could only bring a person back to reality, so she sacrificed herself to save her daughter back to the real world. But Rose had to stay in the mirror forever. She told her husband to protect her daughter and not to come to her, because the evil cult in that world still wants to take their daughter back. Although Sharon was saved, she lost her memory. Chris lied to his daughter that his mother died in a car accident. He kept his promise to his wife to protect his daughter. 10 years have passed. Sharon has grown up. In order not to expose the whereabouts of Sharon, Chris took his daughter to move house. This is the nth house. For many years, Sharon didn't understand why she often had the same nightmare. She dreamed of a group of mysterious people trying to take her away, and the victim who was tortured by the triangle iron head, and a strange woman who put her in a fire. When she woke up, her father comforted her that it was just a dream. He told her not to go to the mirror. The next second, Chris was killed by the knife-head girl. Sharon woke up again. It turned out to be a dream. Until recently, Sharon often had hallucinations. She always saw some strange things that had nothing to do with her. After school, she had hallucinations again. She saw a group of students talking about burning the girl's house. The original school corridor became the place she was familiar with, but she didn't know that this was her childhood nightmare. When Sharon was confused, a man in a suit appeared in front of her. He twisted his body and walked towards Sharon. Frightened, Sharon was brought back to reality by a male classmate, Vincent. The abandoned school just now was also gone. Sharon called her father as soon as possible. Chris listened to this and went to find his daughter, who knew that he was caught by a mysterious priest as soon as he left the house. Sharon came to the agreed location to wait for her father. She had hallucinations again and saw some strange people. She started to run away, but was followed by a mysterious person. It turned out that Chris was a private detective. He has been investigating the disappearance of G. Jingling for many years. He told Sharon that his real name was Sharon. Sharon's mother didn't die in a car accident, but went to a place called G. Jingling. The group of people who call themselves the Valdez Church are arresting Sharon. He wanted to help Sharon not be caught by the priest. Sharon didn't believe it at all when she heard it. She gathered it outside the door. It was at this time that the knife-head girl came. Sharon could only take her into the elevator. The knife-head girl chased them fiercely. She had a sawed-off knife on her head and a big sickle on her arm. She could easily cut the steel. Then the knife-head girl disappeared. Both of them thought the monster had left. I didn't expect the knife-head girl to jump out again and take the detective away. Sharon was lucky to escape. After she took off her bloody coat, she hurriedly ran out. This place has become a crime scene and was blocked by the police. The unfortunate detective was caught. For this, Sharon felt that the detective was not lying. Who would use his life to deceive people? The police found Sharon's coat in the building. They also found Sharon's photo in the detective's wallet. Sharon became a suspect. She had to leave here as soon as possible. On the way home, she met Vincent. On the way home, she saw some mysterious shadows. She disappeared in a blink of an eye. Sharon was taken home with a doubt. Vincent complained to Sharon. Until Sharon left, she found that she had forgotten to leave the other party's phone number. After Sharon got home, she found that her father was missing. There were 4 big words on the wall. She believed that the detective was telling the truth. She looked around, but she didn't see her father. When Sharon was anxious, Vincent heard a scream and rushed over to check. After looking at the words on the wall, they didn't know where the detective was, but Sharon knew the symbols on the wall. She opened her father's box and found this seal. Sharon didn't know what it was. She only knew that there was another piece of walnut. Sharon found her father's gun and used it to defend herself. At this time, the police found Sharon's head knocking on the door. Once caught by the police, people from Valdez will have a chance to catch Sharon. She will never find her father again. She asked Vincent to drive her away. When the police broke in, they found no one in the house. They also found the symbol on the wall. They will conduct a more detailed investigation and continue to arrest the suspect, Sharon. Sharon, who escaped successfully, opened the letter left by her father. Chris's letter told her not to go to the Forbidden Forest. Many years ago, the church sent a journalist to catch Sharon back in the Forbidden Forest. Chris solved the bad guy, so he kept moving away from the police's chase. All he did was to protect his daughter and not let her go to the Forbidden Forest. Chris left documents and notes about the Forbidden Forest for his daughter. The Forbidden Forest used to be a colonial prison. It was built on the land taken from the local Indians. The Valdez Church called it the soul of the Forbidden Forest. The Valdez Church of the Frenzy has secretly ruled for a while in the past 100 years. They are waiting for a baby to be born as the skin of God, so that they can create a new world. They targeted Alexa. The church tried to purify Alexa with fire, but they failed. In order to take revenge on them, Alexa summoned darkness and various terrible monsters. Triangle Iron Head is one of Alexa's guardians. Alexa created the world of Beryl and trapped the church in the Forbidden Forest. Therefore, people who enter the Forbidden Forest are difficult to escape. Winston felt very tired, so they came to a hotel to rest. Sharon did not know that Winston had taken her into the Forbidden Forest. She did not recommend Sharon to go to the Forbidden Forest to find her father. In order to lure Sharon into the trap, she took Chris away. But as a daughter, how could she watch her father being killed? Sharon decided to go to the Forbidden Forest. After falling asleep, she had a new nightmare. Alexa released the darkness and destroyed everything in the world. When Sharon woke up, she found that Winston was still asleep. She disagreed with Sharon going to the Forbidden Forest. Sharon insisted on going. The two quarreled. Winston told her the secret. He is the person of the church. He grew up in the Forbidden Forest. Winston came to take Sharon back, but Sharon learned from the notebook that the church was trapped in the Forbidden Forest and could not come out. How did Winston come out? Winston explained that only a few people could come out, but he needed to make some sacrifices to come out. Sharon did not understand that Winston was such a person. Winston continued to explain that he was born to be educated. Everyone around said that Alexa was evil. Trapping them in the Forbidden Forest also brought endless darkness, and Sharon was part of Alexa. But since he got along with Sharon, he found that Sharon was not an evil existence. Winston could not let kind Sharon die. He had to lie to Sharon, because the previous bishop came to monitor Winston, and it was not Winston who took Chris away. The church wants to catch Sharon to make Alexa disappear. In this way, the church can be free. Sharon is equivalent to Alexa's body. Only two people can completely destroy Alexa. Once they get Sharon, they will not let Chris live. To save his father, they need to get another seal. Another seal was in the hands of Winston's grandfather. Winston wanted to help Sharon, but Sharon did not believe Winston. He wanted to go to the Forbidden Forest alone. At this time, the darkness came. The strange wall suddenly came out of the red wine, as if it was corroded and fell down. When all the walls fell, the real world represented the world, and the world was transformed. Sharon was part of Alexa. He was not far from Alexa, so the darkness spread. It was full of monsters. When they were confused, there was a female general behind them. When Alexa woke up, she found that Winston was taken away. Only this seal was left. Now, Sharon can only rely on herself. When she opened the door, the sky was gray and foggy. This is the world that spread. Sharon saw the sign of the Forbidden Forest not far away. She still walked in. There was dust floating in the air, but there was a strange figure staring at Sharon upstairs. It must be the soul of this place. Sharon looked forward. He found a bad luck song on a square. It said, "Betrayer. This is the end of the rebellion." Dahlia came out. She is Alexa's mother. She said they suffered here. I didn't expect Sharon to dare to come. Dahlia was deceived by the church. She trusted the lies of the church and handed her daughter over. Finally, she found out the purification in their mouths. She used barbecue to purify Alexa. In the end, Alexa didn't die, but she hated everything. Her power grew in hatred until she found herself kind, She extracted the soul of kindness and gave it to a newborn orphan. Then she sent it to the orphanage to be adopted by good people. In this way, the kind one will be spared all pain and live well. Sharon was born. The existence of Sharon balances Alexa's hatred. The arrival of Sharon will give the church a chance. This may kill Alexa and Sharon. However, Sharon only wanted to save her father. Dahlia let her hide in the room. Sharon ran away quickly. After the dark came, she found a hidden building and entered the house to avoid the crisis. She was attacked by the model fake spider here. At the same time, Chris was caught by the church. Winston's mother, Claudia, is the leader of the Waldeer Church. Because Winston betrayed the church and triggered the church, no matter how betrayed, this is the leader's son. Of course, he didn't agree to kill his son. After all, Winston lured Sharon here. It's a mission accomplished. Death can be avoided. In order to appease the church, his son was locked up in the detention center. After Sharon escaped from the ventilation duct, he began to look for the second seal. Winston once said that his grandfather had the second seal, but his grandfather was crazy. He was locked up in the detention center of his mother's town. Sharon began to look for the detention center. She found a detention center and went in. She found Winston's grandfather's file and room key. Then a monster appeared. Fortunately, she took out her self-defense weapon and solved the monster. Sharon found the room where Winston's grandfather was imprisoned. She opened the room with the key and saw Winston's grandfather. The old man's daughter said that the old man was a monster, so she locked him up here. Sharon asked him for another seal. Sharon handed it over half-heartedly, so she found out that this was the seal of the angel Metatron. Someone stole it from her. She used it to take the child away from here. She said this person was Sharon's mother. Sharon asked for the whereabouts of the other half of the seal. The old man said that the other half was in his body. Then he stuffed the seal into his body. His eyes instantly came back to life. He said that Sharon was a devil and wanted to eliminate Sharon. Sharon pulled the trigger without hesitation and killed the old man. But the old man didn't die at all. He turned into a monster. He knocked out the weapon in Sharon's hand. I don't know where to take it after I fainted. Sharon woke up and saw the seal in his body. She quickly took out the seal. The monster who lost the power of the seal turned into ashes in a blink of an eye. Now, the seal is complete. He can use it to exchange for the life of his father, Chris. At this time, countless hands came out of the cell. Triangular iron heads appeared and cut off their hands. Sharon quickly found a place to hide. She came to a room full of glue. When she heard someone coming, she hid again. She found Vincent tied to a bed. The Pope wanted to lock her up in a room full of bubblehead monsters. They kept poking there. With the strength of the 5 flowers and 8 doors in their hands, the bubblehead should have lived a quiet life here. But someone rushed in. After sending Vincent in here, he found that the bubblehead was going to attack. The Pope wanted to make the bubblehead suffer, but he was also surrounded. A monster attacked the Pope and made him panic. His companions wanted to save him, but he was also killed by the knife. After the scream disappeared, the bubblehead stopped moving. The too unlucky Pope was scared to death. Vincent began to think about how to escape. As long as there is a little sound, the monster in the whole sound system will attack objects with sound, causing Vincent to dare not act rashly. At this time, a pair of hands came out. Sharon found Vincent. He whispered to Sharon to save him. He told her that Chris was in the amusement park of the shelter. He can help Sharon. Sharon immediately untied Vincent's tie, but the sound was also heard by the bubblehead. The monster attacked the two of them. They hid behind the bed. The bubblehead made a fierce attack. At the critical moment, the two of them managed to escape. The bubblehead, which could not hear the sound, also had to stop attacking. They finally escaped. Now, the darkness is gone. Vincent took Sharon to his father's amusement park. He found someone coming. The two of them quickly hid. They were called the most loyal servants of the Brotherhood. They each wore a mask. It was because of the air that filtered the darkness that would corrupt them. Vincent told Sharon to live well and find his father. He kissed Sharon to express his feelings. Then he ran out and used himself to attract the attention of the Pope. Sharon took a break for a while. He found that this was the scene in his dream. He had to find his father as soon as possible, but he was still found. Suddenly, a pope appeared. Sharon took off his mask. His face was also corrupted by the air here. Sharon ran away. He came to the merry-go-round in his dream. There was a fire around him. He saw the dark Alicia. Alicia was very angry. She gave Sharon life. She could have avoided all the pain and lived well, but Sharon didn't cherish it. She threatened Sharon to leave here, or she would kill him. Sharon was not afraid. Alicia wanted to absorb Sharon, but Sharon's will was stronger. He absorbed the dark Alicia and her dark power into his body. Sharon came to the hideout of the church. He met his father and Claudia. Claudia thanked Sharon for defeating Alicia. She also helped them put together the seal. When she touched Sharon's face, the guardian felt uneasy and took off his handcuffs. This proved that Alicia was not dead. She was just living in Sharon's body. Sharon asked them to let her father go, but Claudia didn't want to let go of Chris. She wanted to use his blood and spirit. She also wanted to take Sharon's body as her skin. At that time, they would be able to freely purify the sin of the world. In fact, I'm afraid it will bring the world to destruction. Claudia wanted the seal to summon the gods. At this time, Sharon was possessed by Alicia. She took out the seal. Just when Claudia touched the seal, Alicia's dark power poured into Claudia's body. She manifested the demons in her body. She showed her true face. Her eyes were like a bloom. Alicia was born. She was angry at the monster. When she was about to attack Sharon, she was stopped by the guardian Ironhead. Ironhead and Alicia started a war. Both sides were at odds. After Sharon saved Alicia, they saved Chris together. No matter how powerful Alicia was, she didn't have the strength of Ironhead, but Alicia didn't give up. She fought with Ironhead again. Ironhead cut Alicia in half. In the end, Sharon saved her father and Alicia. When Chris went out, he found that the darkness had stopped. The handless cult would be destroyed. Alicia's nightmare was over, but Alicia was still alive in Sharon's body. Chris decided to stay here because his wife, Rose, was trapped here. For the sake of his daughter's safety, he went to find Rose himself. At the end of the story, with the departure of Sharon, the Forbidden Forest returned to the real world, but when Sharon was far away from the Forbidden Forest, the police car drove into the Forbidden Forest. The Forbidden Forest floated again. The Forbidden Forest was covered with dust. It even covered the road sign, indicating that the darkness will attack again.